All right. Last but certainly not least, Darren has the Eagles. So, Darren, tell us about the first seed Philadelphia Eagles and the road ahead that they may be facing here in the coming weeks.
Steve, I got to be honest, I was getting a little bit worried about not getting this bye and getting the one seed with those last couple games that we had to play. But,
Yes.
we fought really hard in those games, and, Gardner came in and did what he could possibly do for the team. I think he did an okay job. Very glad to see Jalen Hurts back last week. Um, a lot of people complained about that game with the Giants, how, the play calling wasn't great, the defense wasn't great, but, we got in there, we did what we needed to do. We didn't get anybody else injured. We didn't show any of our, trick plays or anything like that for teams to film study. So glad that worked out. As far as getting the bye, I'm very glad that happened. There are, a lot of good teams in this NFC that I'd want to play and a lot that I wouldn't want to play. And, 49ers, obviously, Tim talking about them is the team that we don't really want to see.
That's
Um,
right.
like he said, that defense is just elite. Christian McCaffrey is terrifying to any defense. I don't have as much faith as Tim and Brock Purdy, but I do believe in the weapons around him and in that Shanahan offense. Um, the other teams would be, the Cowboys and the Vikings. I feel like we have a good chance against those teams. I'd like to see the Cowboys again, if I'm being honest, just so
Okay.
we can get that over with. Hopefully, that would be a really fun matchup to watch. And obviously, our Super Bowl run in 2018 against the Vikings, that would be a great rematch game as well. The teams I'm hoping to see would be the Giants. I feel like we can beat them pretty easily. I don't see that they have a good chance of winning this week, but you never know. And then the Seahawks. I just don't think that defense stops our offense, and I just don't see Geno Smith being able to do very much against our defense. And the last thing being the Bucks. I do think the Bucks have a good chance to beat the Cowboys this week. They have, I think, a 3.5 point spread. Um, but I would like to see the Bucks again. It would be a rematch of last year, kind of in opposite roles, where the struggling teams coming in is the Bucks this time instead of the Eagles, and I think we can handle them as well.
Yeah, it was a pleasant surprise that the Eagles even made the playoffs in the first place last year, and then to have the turnaround, that just an absolute dominant season was fantastic. But I'm glad about what you said, the very first thing, like really glad to have the the first seed and the bye because uh we had the opportunity against the Cowboys. Very close game, unbelievably entertaining game, just came up short. Then that just absolute brutal game against the Saints. Like, oh my word, I was just livid, but it's just understandable. It's just have to survive that game, and then of course they took care of business against the Giants. But my biggest areas of concern for, and again, very grateful to have the week off, let Jalen Hurts rest up. But also just got to tighten up the offense a bit. Definitely came out a little flat against the Giants. So definitely got to shore that up and just hope that Lane Johnson is able to play. Not only be on the field, but also just be able to be the same Lane Johnson who just hasn't given up a
Sure.
sack in like 5 years or something. It's like ridiculous. He's just an amazing right tackle. So those would be my
Yeah.
biggest areas of concern. Um, it's funny. I actually don't want to face the Cowboys whatsoever, but if that's what it takes to get us through, then that's what's going to have to take. But yeah, my anxiety leading into that kind of a matchup would not be pleasant or anything I'd want to have to deal with. But yeah, it is definitely a good spot that the Eagles find themselves in, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing what kind of matchup will come out here for us. Really hoping that the Seahawks are able to pull an upset over the 49ers, but we will see. But yeah, so are you predicting that the Eagles will win the Super Bowl here, or who do you like overall, just from an unbiased perspective?
very hard for me to be unbiased when it comes to the Eagles, but I did want to mention like us getting healthier is really going to help us this playoffs. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is back. We got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. Hopefully, we got Lane Johnson back. I think Avonte Maddox has a chance to play. And obviously, you saw the impact of Dallas Goedert coming back immediately. As soon as he came back, it just looked like our offense was a different breed when he's in there. But I think it's going to come down to the Eagles and the 49ers in the NFC Championship. I really don't see another way around it.
Yep.
I'm ready to eat my words on that. They just seem like the two most dominant teams right now. And I feel like those are the teams that are going to get there. And then, I feel like it's going to be a coin flip matchup there. Either team could win that. Obviously, I think the Eagles are going to be going to the Super Bowl, and they're going to be facing their toughest competition in the Super Bowl, whether that's the Chiefs or the Bills. I think that's going to be the toughest team on the path to getting that Lombardi Trophy. But that 49ers game, if that's the way it happens, that's going to be a 50-50 game, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, it is really nice to have the home field advantage as well. And in that case, the 49ers have to travel across the country. So, there's a lot of things going the Eagles' way. But again, it is a very scary team offensively and defensively. But yeah, but that's going to do it, guys. Appreciate you all being on, and best of luck to all your teams. Appreciate all your insight, and that's going to do it for part 1. And then stick around for part 2, which we'll be recording tomorrow. But fellas, Bob, Brandon, Tim, Dustin, and Darren, appreciate you being on, and best of luck, everybody.